Up next on UBC.
The Budongo Forest in Uganda is northwest of the capital city Kampala, on the way to Unveils National Park, and is located on the escarpment northeast of Lake Albert. The area situated between 1 degrees 37 north, 2 degrees 03 north, and 31 degrees 22, 31 degrees 46 east. It covers a gently rolling landscape, sloping down to the East African Rift. 4 streams, Waisuke, Sonso, Kamirambwa and Siba, drain the forest and flow into Lake Albert. Annual rainfall in the area is between 1,200 and 2,200 millimeters, the rainy season being from March till May and again from September to November, the dry season being December to February. The nearest town is Masindi, and much of the land around the forest is given over to crops, dwellings and villages, placing continuous pressure on the forest margins and leading to exploitation for building materials and bushmeat.
My name is Oyet Patrick. I work for National Forestry Authority as a forest supervisor in charge of Kanio Pabidi Ecotourism site. Kanio Pabidi Ecotourism site, it is located within Budongo Central Forest Reserve. And Budongo Central Forest Reserve, it is about 845 square kilometers, and it is homes of chimpanzees.
Located in Unveils National Park, Budongo Forest Reserve is 793 square kilometers, of which only 53% is forest and the rest grassland. Budongo Forest boasts of a high biodiversity of 24 species of small animals, 9 of which are primates, 465 species of trees and shrubs, 359 species of birds, 289 species of butterflies, and 130 species of moths. The forest is renowned for its high number of mahogany trees and chimpanzees. The forest is believed to contain some 600 to 700 chimpanzees.
It is about 100 individuals in this community we are using for tourism purposes. The work is to ensure that the forest is protected, the ecotourism site, it is well managed in accordance with the acceptable guidelines. population of Uganda is increasing at a high speed, and as well as the population, the nearby communities as well. So you find that the pressure on the forest is also increasing because most of the communities depend on forest resources such as firewood, medicines, and perhaps some timber.
As a result of this great biodiversity, 2 ecotourism sites have been set and optimized for tour activities, Kaniyo Pabindi and the Busingiro ecotourism sites. These 2 sites have chimpanzees that have been habituated for chimpanzee tracking. In Kaniyo Pabindi, 6 groups have been habituated. In the Busingiro ecotourism site, chimp tracking is more successful on the grid trial, where a 200-meter grid system ensures ease of access through the forest. For chimp tracking, it's best to start early around 7 a.m. The guides follow the daily movements of the habituated chimpanzee groups. Tracking chimpanzees is a thrilling experience where one gets to meet his or her closest cousins, having 98% DNA close to that of human being.
And whenever we find the couplings, we arrest them and prosecute them in the court of Uganda law. It is containing about 449 different species of trees and shrubs, of which we have Celtis is one of them. We have also mahogany. We have also ficuses of different types. These are the trees which are the chimpanzees they feed on for their whole entire lives.
We had the wildlife conflict with the human, the communities living around here, because they would attack the chimps, because for them they were saying they are enemies. These chimps would come outside around their homesteads, pick fruits, share with them, but when they see them, they attack them and chase them away. And in that process, some chimps were also killed, and there's also chimps, in their response to defense, they also harm the communities. But when JJR realized that the communities are supposed to coexist with the wildlife, they came in and started sensitizing the communities. They did that in hand with the responsible body, the National Forest Authority, sensitizing the communities on the importance of conserving the environment, not only the free species but also looking at the biodiversity, because for JJI they are much interested in chimps. So the communities picked. They started also going by the sensitization, picking the sensitization. As you all know, sensitizing communities, it is not easy. Some still have their attitude, which is backwards. It is not easy. We started involving in ourselves, also participating and leading into formation of a CFM group. After forming the CFM group, they empowered us by opening up projects that are forest related, like tree planting, fruit growing, which helped to build up relationship of communities and the biodiversities, including the chimps, baboons, the monkeys, and the what have you. So JJI came in and started a project of beekeeping in relation to see that these communities can coexist with the chimps. The chimps should not disturb them and they should not disturb the chimps, because the chimps used to come attack the communities because communities had started carrying out illegal activities in the forest, going deep, hunting for wild honey, and also hunting for meat, which was a threat to the chimps because it is their area of residence. Then JJI came in and started mobilizing communities, came in, identified a group of communities and started doing consultations on the projects that are supposed to be implemented here. We told them we want beekeeping. The reason as to why beekeeping was that with land, we could not have problems because we had already been allocated plots along the forest boundary, and which those plots are enough for siting the beehives. They said now, if you say we are supporting you in beekeeping, do you have experience in beekeeping? We told them, we are demanding for the experience from you, because if you deliver the beehives, you also need to empower communities in skills, doing the beekeeping for business. By 2012, You remember I told you our agreement, we signed it in 2008, but it was still lacking. There were some gaps. JJ came in and said, we should help the communities review the CFM agreements. By 2012, JJ came in and reviewed the CFM agreements, where the beekeeping project was now put in the phase. JJ came in 2012, 2013, they started training the communities on beekeeping. By 2014, the first delivery of the hives was done. They delivered 200 beehives to 20 farmers. And the farmers, when they started responding, it started yielding good results because now chimps started being friendly to the communities. They started coming out. Also our children, they were being born here, growing here without seeing chimps. They started seeing chimps. JJI said, so if we can continue supporting these people, the communities in beekeeping, by giving them all the requirements, it would be good for the chimps to come back and share with the communities. Collecting information on beekeeping, the patrols, legal activities taking place, the wildlife conflict. Like the form for the beekeeping, it is able you to know that the farmer this season got these liters of honey, the propolis, and what have you. By reaching the farmer, you open the gadget, you pick the GPS location where the apiary site is, you interview the farmer, you ask the farmer how many liters, he's able to tell you, and you store information, you share it with the donor communities. That's what we've been using the data. Because when we sit here collecting the data, we again share it with the robot. We go to robot where the internet or whatever was installed, we upload it on cloud.
Jane Goodall Institute supported National Forest Authority in establishing and improving Kampala ecotourism site, which is an ecotourism site for chimpanzee tourism in Budongo Central Forest Reserve. The current fee for chimpanzee tracking is about for a Ugandan it's about $50 to $55. For a non-Ugandan, it's about $85 to $90. And in the peak season, the place receives quite a number of visitors. But in non-peak season, the place is not so busy. So we think it generates income, which the private operator shares with National Forest Authority, which income then is used in extending services of management of Central Forest Reserves. local tourists coming to this place is still low, but I think there are efforts to advertise it to the public so that people can take advantage and get to know how chimps behave, but also get to know what this place, the packages it has, and so that more people can come. The tour operator, who is Mr. Wekesa, is doing a lot to make sure the place is advertised so that more people can take that chance of seeing chimpanzees in the wild, like in Budongo Central Forest Reserve. The tourism operation still has one major challenge of people getting to appreciate it. People have not yet appreciated the need to do tourism, especially the Ugandans, but it's receiving quite a good turn-up from people outside coming to visit.
Chimpanzees attract in different areas in Uganda, and Budongo Forest is among the best chimpanzee habitats in Uganda, with 600 individuals, and about 100 are habituated for tracking at Kampala. In fact, only habituated groups of chimpanzees can be tracked in Budongo Forest. It is the largest natural mahogany forest in East Africa, covering an area of 825 square kilometers, located in the northwest of Kampala. It takes 3 hours to drive to the home of chimps. It is home to over 95 mammals and 360 bird species, and various activities are done here, but majorly chimpanzee tracking. This activity is mainly done at Kampala, which borders Murchison Falls at the southern edge, hence about a 30-minute drive from Kachumba Gate, and is directed by Uganda Wildlife Authority. There are 2 sessions to track chimps in a day, morning and afternoon, and tracking starts at 7 a.m., where the trackers meet at the information center, then briefed and led by skilled ranger guide to search for the mighty giants in the forest. Chimps in Budongo can also be tracked by a person on a tour from All to Murchison Falls. In fact, it can be done as an ad on the itinerary, and the person has to be in good health with no cough, flu, or any disease that can be transmitted to the chimps. Chimpanzees in Budongo Forest can be tracked any time of the year, though the best time to visit would be from May to August, where the chance of viewing chimps is at 90%. In months like February, March, April, September, and early October, the chances are at 70%. When it comes to months of late October, November, December, and January, chances are at 50%, and hence viewing chimpanzees is difficult since trackers have to move long distances to find them. The reason is during this time, there is scarcity of food, shelter, and maybe water in the nearest places. Therefore, they move to further areas to look for food. For one who is interested in having a one-day visit to Budongo Forest, it can also be organized. After chimpanzee tracking, travel back to Kampala, arriving in the evening at around 19:00 hours. It seems a tiring day, but it is worth it, as you'll have an amazing, unforgettable experience. The snares set by poachers cause a mutilation of the chimpanzees and other animals. The mahogany trees that still remain are cut and removed by itinerant pit swear.
As an organization, we're involved in conservation of natural resources with a particular focus on chimpanzees. And Jane Gudo was founded by Jane Gudo in Gombe, in Tanzania. And with our focus of chimpanzee conservation, we picked interest in working in Budongo Central Forest Reserve because it harbors a population of chimpanzees. As per the 2010 census, it had about 530 chimpanzees, but to date it has about 900 chimpanzees. Our interest to come into Budongo was to support the government institutions in conserving the population of chimpanzees here. And our interventions have been trying to look at how to improve the chimpanzee health. We do chimpanzee health monitoring, but as well as do support the districts that neighbor Budongo with monitoring health of the humans that are on the periphery of Budongo Central Forest Reserve, the adjacent communities. We also support the authorities, NFA especially, with technologies that help in monitoring and research of chimpanzee population and chimpanzee behaviors, but also the people outside. These technologies are used by both NFA staff and local communities. We also do support NFA in extending services to the communities, including supporting communities' livelihood activities, but also we support local governments in supporting the communities that are living adjacent to private forests and community forests, even public forests that harbor chimpanzee populations. We do livelihood support like livestock. We do support them in crop husbandry, especially the non-palatable crops to the wildlife. We also support the communities in activities like beekeeping. We do support communities in water sources construction, and also do a lot of awareness creation on environmental education and chimpanzee behavior. We have done that to majorly reduce on the conflict of human wildlife, because most people do not understand these animals, especially the chimpanzee, and if you enlighten them about the chimpanzee behaviors, then the conflict definitely comes down, which improves the coexistence between humans and the other primates. As an organization, we've worked in the Alberton region, the entire Alberton region, but with major focus of central forest reserves, because those are the reserves that majorly harbor big populations of chimpanzees. So we work closely with communities that are adjacent with those central forest reserves.
And Shoots Club, which is very active here. We've had a series of trainings. We had they gave us chance to travel down Entebbe at the work center to go and have the staff. Majorly, I also went to as a patron. We got trained to come and bring back the message of conservation to our learners and the community. So, like, we are well done in terms of energy conservation practices, like construction of charcoal stoves. Not only that, we even have at least something very positive in terms of tree planting. Learners know a lot under the Roots and Shoots Club. They mind about sanitation. Like, for example, here at our school, we have the need to make sure we have 2 rubbish pits. We tell them that, of course, we have rubbish pit, which is decomposable, and the others are non-decomposable. Those which are able to decompose, we transfer them to our chamber. Then still the same message is taken home by these learners to their homes to have their parents' fields manured using this practice. And I believe this also has left impact to what we are doing at the school as far as the Roots is concerned. Not only that, we even praise the genuine good Roots and Shoots activities in our school. For example, they offer us chances and our learners to go for tours, and they expose our learners to the ideas about the forest, the importance of the forest, animals in the forest, and maybe also the need to care for them. All the learners are aware of that.
I've worked here for 10 years. What they're trying to do is not right. So there are some people employed to pick the snares. So there's that threat on chimpanzees of the snares. And then another threat would be like the local community using the chimpanzees for other uses, like I'll say, how do I term it, witchcraft. Some people believe that, actually it's not believed, it is true that chimpanzees are 5 times stronger than human beings. So some people just kill chimpanzees to get their bones, so that they burn the bones, cut themselves, and then apply the powder on where they have cut, so that he can fight many people. That is also another threat for the chimpanzees. In Uganda, we have just one species of chimpanzees, the short-haired chimpanzees, but there are 2 species of chimpanzees. The second one is found in Congo, in the whole world, that is the bonobos. So the chimpanzees we have here, they do suffer from diseases that we suffer from. I'll give you the common diseases that they always suffer from, like cough, flu, diarrhea, polio, and also running stomach, if like they have eaten something bad. That's why we keep telling people no long hauls in the forest, because if you do it in the forest, they will get running stomach. So those are the common diseases that I can talk about.
We supported Masindi District government with rehabilitating their health facilities, especially those close to Budongo Central Forest Reserves. We did rehabilitate about 6 health facilities, provided them with solar refrigerators, which would then keep the vaccines that can be used to immunize immunizable diseases. So that has helped a long way to reduce disease exchange between humans and the chimpanzees. And for the side of the chimpanzees, we have a vet team that goes around addressing some of these illnesses that the chimpanzees get. So we have a rescue team of vet doctors that goes to do all that work. In case a chimpanzee is trapped in a snare or a man trap, still the vet team continues to do that work to make sure.
That there were about 811 chimpanzees. Another census was done recently last year, of which they have not yet given us the number of chimpanzees in the forest, but we assume there are over 1,000 chimpanzees now.
Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, every Thursday at 7:30 p.m. and the repeat every Sunday at 9 p.m. Serve the world, let's serve the natural cover, let's serve the chimps together. Stay tuned as Uganda Broadcasting Corporation unveils the Pearl of Africa, Uganda.